From assaulting a woman to punching an old man in the head over whiskey to now kicking fighters off the Ultimate Fighter 32, Conor the Notorious McGregor is back at it again. Though UFC President Dana White isn't thinking much about the control the Irishman's been given as a coach on TUF Season 31, McGregor is set to coach opposite Michael Chandler, a favorite among UFC fans, largely because of how he enjoys putting on a show each and every time he's in the octagon. There's even a chance that McGregor and Michael will face each other sometime later this year, though one of these coaches for the Ultimate Fighter Season 31 is already up to no good. Gilbert Burns, who's a fighter in the UFC welterweight division, has lately been accusing McGregor of having kicked his teammate off. That teammate in question is Loic Rajabov, who might not get a chance at the 31st season of the TV series. According to Burns, the Irish fighter has been kicking fighters off the show and replacing them with his own hand-picked fighters. But Gilbert isn't the only one. Daniel Rubenstein has also been accusing McGregor of having 3 of his fighters removed from this installment of the reality TV series, all so he can get his own people on it instead. So Mitch Ramirez, Ken Cross, and Brandon Jerkins will not be part of the show this season. UFC President Dana White spoke about the rumors surrounding the UFC star at the post-match press conference at UFC Vegas 70, where he spoke about how he doesn't know anything about any of this. Dana also asked who gives a shit.
There was a lot of talk going into before this started. People were saying that Conor when he made the jump, he brought 3 guys with him and he replaced 3 guys that were on the card or already decided. Can you clear up what that story's all about?
I have no idea. Who gives a shit?
He did end up admitting that a few of Conor's requests were fulfilled, but he justified that by talking about how people have been expecting him to coach and be committed to it, especially since he lives all the way over in Ireland. White said that McGregor is going to end up getting some of the things that he wants, considering everything he'd mentioned, so it looks like McGregor's allowed to do pretty much whatever he wants, for now at least. Which is great for him, of course. Maybe not the best for others, though.
You know what I mean? And you're trying to get guys to commit to coach and, to do the coaching commitment, especially when you live in Ireland. You know what I mean? Yeah, Conor's going to get some things that he wants.
Though Dana did mention that even if some fighters are kicked off the show now, UFC has something else in store for them instead. He talked about how none of the fighters were going to lose any opportunities if they even got smudged off the show. White said all of these guys will be taken care of by the promotion and that they don't need to worry about anything. Dana White and the UFC will handle it.
Nobody lost an opportunity here. If there were guys that were booked to do that, we'll do something with them. It's not just like, hey, see you later, pal. Good luck to you. Have a good life. We'll figure it out. We'll take care of these guys.
Now, I don't know exactly what he means by that since White didn't go into detail, but as far as speculation goes, it could possibly be either one of these next 2 things. The fighters that McGregor kicks off the Ultimate Fighter 31 will either be given a spot on White's Contender Series, or they'll just end up getting a fight on a UFC card sometime later. It's good to know that the promotion plans on taking care of all the fighters that Conor's been kicking off the series, or the UFC claims to, at the very least. It still remains to be seen what they actually have planned for these guys, though. It's all just speculation at the time being. For now, the fighters that got kicked off by Conor probably just feel let down and frustrated. Gilbert Burns even put out a tweet mentioning his teammate Loic Rajabov not being included in the TV series. Gilbert, in his tweet, brought the issue to light as he spoke about how Loic is not only his teammate, but also someone who's accomplished in MMA. He's even been a 2-time PFL finalist. Gilbert highlighted all the hard work that Rajabov has put in to finally earn himself a well-deserved spot on the Ultimate Fighter 31. The man was even in Las Vegas waiting for the show to kick off when he got kicked off by Coach Notorious instead, who Burns also claims brought in his own people to fill in the gaps. McGregor actually put out a tweet in response to these accusations, a tweet that Conor ended up deleting later for some reason. Some people even reposted his tweet later to call him out using screenshots they'd taken of the tweet itself. Regardless, though, in his deleted tweet, the Notorious one spoke about how he only knows one fighter on the show right now, and that he's the only one he added. McGregor emphasized that he didn't make any of the requests of anyone or ask for anything, and he said that he certainly didn't have anyone removed. Though even if he did end up changing the lineup a little for his own people, UFC President Dana White doesn't seem to care that much about it. White detailed that the roster for the UFC is constantly in a state of flux anyways. He said that the promotion always brings back fighters who've competed on TUF previously, or if they didn't get a contract right away. It comes back to them eventually. The UFC president doesn't have any details to give regarding the fighters who won't end up getting a chance to participate in TUF 31, but certainly no opportunity is lost for anyone in the eyes of White. Though filming for The Ultimate Fighter 31 has already begun, White revealed that 3 of the fights had already been done and dusted as the show led up to its debut in May. The UFC president mentioned that this season of the Ultimate Fighter series has been going pretty well so far, especially with their first 3 fights already taken care of. He then spoke about how he was talking with Michael Chandler recently, who as of late has had an epiphany. Chandler initially thought that he'd just come on as a coach and to follow through with the motions and do whatever he was told to do. But, to his surprise, things turned out very different than what he expected. Coach Chandler talked to Dana White about how he's shocked by just how invested he's become in all this and in his fighters. He's absolutely blown away by how much he started to care for these guys. Looks like Michael Chandler is really feeling his role as coach at the Ultimate Fighter 31. White claims that this exact same thing ends up happening every single season of the show. He also added that it's really fascinating and fun that they do this every single year without fail, and spoke about how different everything is each season. He also mentioned how invested the coaches become in their guys each year. White's definitely happy to be working on TUF 31. He says it's fun, though it can't be fun for the few fighters that the Irish UFC star had kicked off to make room for his own guys. They've only gotten done with the first 3 fights for now, and Conor is already up to no good and making headlines. Though, as we know, McGregor has been denying all claims and accusations against him of kicking off fighters to make space for his own people. In a tweet, McGregor talked about how he didn't kick anyone out and that he himself is just trying to get back in the mix. He ended his tweet with, "So f*** off." Classic McGregor. So it looks like the fighters that got kicked off don't need to worry too much, even though I get why something like this happening to them would frustrate and infuriate them. Hopefully all the fighters get their due opportunity soon. This has been Dana White's reaction to McGregor kicking fighters from the Ultimate Fighter 31.
It's fascinating, every year that we do this. First of all, different things happen every season, and the fact that these coaches become so invested in their guys. It's fun, man. It's good to be back. I love it.